I'm about to call me a Uber.
You can't call an Uber. Vandal.
I don't know if they running or not.
No, you can't.
Another YouTube video with loadouts for DC Universe. We're running a 4 loadout builds here. We're going to do a video on all 4. This first one basically is a left to right build, and these 2 are your power interactions for the rest of these ones here. What these do is these increase the damage of all 3 of these. Now, if you think about it, these this one here causes electrifying damage to enemies. So any enemies that are electrified from using this take additional damage to not only that one, but that one as well, and this one as well. What that means is that's one set of damage. Now if you look at this one, it inflicts frostbite, which means, again, frostbitten enemies take additional damage. Frostbitten enemies or electrified enemies take an additional damage on this one. So this one and this one are both your power interactions that causes enemies to take additional damage. So let's get this loadout together. First one's glass grenade. Second one distract. Third one's fear gas. Fourth one's implosion mine. Fifth one's EMP. Sixth is asphyxiation gas. Asphyxiation gas, I use it sometimes. Most times I don't really care to use it. But that's just my preference. So that's just preference. Sometimes I'll even throw a robot sidekick instead, or you could use something like you can use a heal, you can use the drone. You know, it's really a preference. You can use this drone over here as well. That's really preference on what you want to put at the end there. I tend to use asphyxiation gas sometimes for the additional damage in like a raid or alert. If I'm in a duo, 9 times out of 10 I'll use either robot sidekick or a suppressor turret. Okay, now skill points. You would put 1 into your weapon ability, so martial arts, bow, so on and so forth. You can only put 1 in there just to get it active. But because it is already an active setup, because it was my original weapon, I don't have to worry about wasting a skill point in it, which leaves me at 0 skill points put into that one. This one, you movement, you just put 1 into your movement. You don't need any of this stuff here, or this down here, or any of this stuff over here. None of this is needed for your build. If you go to iconics, like I said, you could get robot sidekick. I tend to tell people, make sure you have pheromone bloom no matter what build you're running. That way, if you get into a mess, you have that to save you. So let's say you're in a raid and people keep dying, you have to keep fighting the raid, that boss. You can throw that on, it'll give you a little bit more chance of survivability. Also does good damage. Skill point wise, you would go super powered. You would go 20, 40. Then you put everything else into might. Now, it's a left to right build, so you're going to click L2 square to triangle on the L2 button, and then go left. From there on, you go circle X and R2 square, and then you start the rotation again. Now, here's the trick: you don't hit R2 or L2 square on the second time around. You wait till the third time around when L2 triangle is available. So let's show you how it works. And as you see, you can run it that way, and it does good damage. Now, as you've seen, I did slip up and I hit it more than what I should have on L2 square, but that's if you want to cut into that little bit of space and time there for circle to reset. But as you see, 61 hits at 122,000. That's pretty good for a Gadget's DPS. Alright, our next one is going to be the single target, mainly called aka boss fight target build. This one's based off of fighting your regular bosses in a raid, alerts, open world. If you're going up against a boss, this is a build that I would advise to use. Let's go into the trees here. Granted, I have points, so of course I would dump them into here, like the other one. But let's go to loadouts. These three here are your interactions, because of the fact that this one, and this one, you're going to be clipping for the enemy to take additional damage. This one is going to make dazed enemies take additional damage, which is causing this one to do its damage output as you go into this one, which is your shield. This one makes yourself go into visibility, dazes enemies. This is a shield, so while you're in here, they can't just immediately knock you back out of invisibility. Alright, so, and then you would go over here to heat vision, which will burn enemies. As you've seen over here, burning enemies take additional damage. So another power interaction right there. Electrifies enemies, again, another power interaction right here. And then you have dazed enemies, which is another power interaction to this one. You have frostbitten enemies, which has no power interaction at all right now. And then you have your minor damage output, single hit damage output. Basically, this is a build that I would use on a boss fight, because that single target, that single target, that single target, they don't hit multiple enemies, so this is good to have on a boss fight. Alright, let's go to weapon. Again, like I said, primary weapon that I started the game with, so I don't have to put a skill point in there. So you put one into your weapon, whatever it may be, one into your movement. You would get heat vision. You don't need robot psychic, that's just up to you if you want to use it or not, but I would advise get pheromone bloom for a safety net. Then you would go for your superpower, 20/40, and then everything else in the might. Now with this one, it's a little different, because you're going to actually start it out by hitting the first three on L2. So L2 square, L2 triangle, L2 circle. So it'll look like this. While you're in here, you're going to hit square and then X as fast as possible. So square X. Like that. So let's go into that tree. That's a tree you're going to need to know. So, stealth tree. You're going to need termite mine, asphyxiation gas, you can sub that for anything, EMP, and then you got surprise attack, which I never use, it's just there to take up a spot, and then bunker buster. Bunker busters for raids, asphyxiation gas for alerts and duos. That's why there's two superchargers in here. Bunker buster, you would save it up until you're in a raid fight. So as you make your way to the final boss or one of the bosses and you have a full super, you can use that on the boss. But when you're in like an alert or a duo, my advice, use asphyxiation gas. You can use it twice versus this one you can only use once. Right in here, burning enemies take an additional, or burns enemies, making them vulnerable to burn attacks, burn damage. And then of course, by hitting that and then hitting X, and here gives you an additional damage to enemies because you EMP for the burning and the electrified and the dazed enemies that are going to be on the other page here. So the loadout would go these three: square X, then you would go X, R2 square, R2 triangle, R2 square, X, R2 square, triangle, clip all three, square, X. There's your loadout. $71 hits at 138,000, which is not bad. 61 at 122. So a little bit more than that, exactly 10 more hits. That's not bad. Now we got your ranged loadout, which I use this for if we're in like a really hard raid boss, you know, elite or whatever. Same routine, I would dump those into there. But for the loadout, you would have heat vision, you would have gas grenade, which heat vision, it burns the enemies. This will electrify the enemies. Burning burns when electrified, so that'll interact with that. This one is just your basic damage hit, and then this is your spam move that also interacts with the burning enemies of the first one. Pretty much a left to right loadout, but you can do it at a distance. Alright. Now, that's the loadout. Let's go to the actual skill points. Same routine. One in the weapon, whatever your weapon is. One in the flight. One in the iconics, which is your heat vision. And then you got your superpowered, 2040. And then the rest into might and power. Now, as you see down there, 83 hits. Granted, the distance damage is not going to be as high, but there is a couple powers that you can sub out for, like asphyxiation gas, or not asphyxiation gas, fear gas. You can actually trade that one out and throw in something like taser pool, kind of like this, and use this as additional damage output. So you would do the same routine. It's just a lot faster output of damage. You know, there's different ones that you can sub out. If you're not a big fan of that one, you could throw in like sticky bomb, or you know, you can have let's see, suppress the turret. You could throw in distract to increase your damage output. You would clip it with gas grenade like you did before in the other build, which would work. There you go. So, you know, comes in handy. Alright, and the last one is your troll builds. Now this one is a little weird for some people, but it works for me. I'm old school, so I still run a POT, just in case if they do decide to put that back in. I still run a POT. Sticky Bomb used to be, or Taser Pool, was your two primary POTs. And then I would have Defibrillator, which is a power buff to all my teammates, well, three lowered powered teammates. So if you're under half, but yet I see other ones that have no power, the ones with no power are going to get it before the one that has half power. So it gives 3 people power. Then I got Paralyzing Dart, which decreases their damage output to my team. So basically the enemy can't hurt my team as bad. I have the Battle Drone, which after exploding gives me and my team power back over time. I have Napalm Grenade, which causes the enemy's ability to heal, so it reduces their ability to heal. Let's say you're going up against one of them healing bosses and they constantly wanting to heal themselves. This will stop them from doing that, or attempt to stop them from doing that in some cases. Then you have Glass Grenade. I don't even know how you would say Gas Grenade, which reduced the enemy's defense, so the amount of damage they are able to withstand before they go down. And basically this loadout is pretty simple to run. I've always learned to, you know, you can clip different ones. You can clip, different ones, or go single like that. You can, clip this, hit that into this one, and you hit them with all 3 buffs. If you look at the target up there, it has the heal buff, or the heal debuff, the defense debuff, and the damage output debuff, all up at once. So that's coming from that one, and that one. And then this is just giving power to the team. And as you can tell by my bar, for the fact of the way I have it set up, it's not really running me out of power by clipping, doing all my moves. If you're really good with it, you can clip it like that, and then hit this one. If you really want to get fancy, you can clip it this way, and then clip it that way. Depends on how you want to make it work. We already went through the loadout. You get your, me, I went with mastery on this one, to get a little bit of extra oomph back to my ability here, so I can get some power back. With this, you definitely want to get your knockdowns, for the fact that, you're going to get knocked down a lot as a troll. I've ran troll a long time, and I've gotten knocked down a lot. This definitely comes in handy. And being stunned and not being able to put out power to the healer can get you killed. You're going to go to here, and you're going to go super powered, 2010. And nothing in the Vite yet. Once you max out your might and power, you would put the rest in the Vite, and don't worry about Dom as much. Because I tend to just go with Vite over Dom. Because Gadget is not really a stunning ability as much. Like if you were running Quantum, yes, you would want to go with Dom over Vite, but as a Gadgets, you would want to go Vite over Dom. Alright, well, that's the video, and hope you guys were able to understand all that. Any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all have a great day.
Yeah, I'm about to call me an Uber.
You can't call an Uber. They banned the Uber.
I don't know if they running or not.
No, you can't.